Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all through a screen. I am so excited to share this project. Me and the other creators of Access Acquired are here to offer you some amazing, fantastic disabled talent. I would first like to introduce myself. My name is Rana. My pronouns are she, her, and to audio describe myself, I'm an Arab Middle Eastern woman with olive toned skin, brown eyes, and I have a condition called achondroplasia, which is a form of dwarfism. And I'm currently wearing a black hijab and a black long sleeve top. And the other creators in this room right now are Emily, Ellen, Anya, and Ash. And we have all worked so hard to bring you this performance, like showcase, and we hope you enjoy. First up is Phoebe Constantine. Her pronouns are she, her, and she will be performing a spoken word piece about being neurodiverse in school. The piece is called Rabbit Hole. She is a mixed race woman wearing a black dress and tied up dark brown hair.
I am wondrous. I'm thinking, I'm searching, I'm growing, but something's not right. In my eyesight, a contrast, a blend. I feel different as I descend in curiosity. I seem to be in the body of a small child, and I'm at this school. And at school, I'm talked down to and tiny. At school, I'm a neurodiverse fool, a tool in society. At school, I'm told I'm not trying hard enough. And it's tough. It's rough. It's a rusty handcuff tying me down this rabbit hole. And it takes a toll down a rabbit hole like Alice in Wonderland. They don't understand. To them, I'm just a prop, a music stand, a lifeless material brand. I pause, I squint, I try to smile under the vile, vigorous tug of pressure to measure up. I stand up, I'm told to sit down, I speak, but there is no sound. I can't communicate and no one can relate. The dilation of my frustration grows by the second because if I can't read, I won't succeed. And it's with the heavens that I plead for. I need help. So much help. But not even help. I need the world to slow down. This school is a pool of noise. Noisy boys, loud girls, my mind whirls. I can't hear myself think. There's no time to blink. I'm on the brink where I think I might sink. My brain is stalling, my eyes are bawling, my soul is sprawling. But my purpose is still calling. Each day, each morning. And it seems to be the most wonderful thing in me. It's what they do not see. But that's what I need to be. Free to be seen, free to be heard, free to be absurd, and that's what I will be. I know that one day you'll see. And I hope you understand once I'm free.
Phoebe, that was so good. Every time I hear your writing, it's just so authentic. Thank you so much for sharing. Next up, we have a lovely monologue from Lucy, and it'll be in the form of a video.
Hi, my name is Lucy Moon. My pronouns are she, her, and to audio describe myself, I am a white woman in a black t-shirt and I've got brown hair in Goldilocks-like pigtails. And for my performance today, I'll be performing a monologue called Taking the Next Step, which I wrote myself, but is inspired by Netflix comedy drama Sex Education. Thank you. Hey Eddie, hi. Sorry if I've been in touch lately. I've had some stuff to sort out. So anyway, you know how Rachel told you that I didn't enjoy last night? Well, there might be a problem. You see, It's not your fault that you can't pleasure me, you know. Actually. I mean, I tried Otis's method of the clock on myself to see if it suits me, and well, I know it's to give me self-pleasure, but I'll be honest, after comparing his technique to yours, you are quite shocking. I mean, if you actually followed his advice, because I'll admit he is actually pretty good, I would actually gain some fanny flutters from you. Eddie, why are you being like this? No, I do not fancy Otis, he's not even my type. But, are you just angry because, you know, the captain can't infiltrate me, if you know what I mean? Oh, well, I'm sorry if I'm not satisfied, but listen, my dog has had more sexual action than us, and he's been dead for 2 years. But you know why I find it hard to have sexual enjoyment? Because I'm scared. Because, well, just as I was ready to consummate my last relationship, you left me 4 days after I got the injection. Do you know how worthless that made me feel? You know, I look at people and as soon as I want to get to know them, something always stops me. I think because since my ex, I just don't feel like I'm good enough for anyone. But you're not like other people, Eddie. You're different. You're funny, you're kind, not a fuckboy, thankfully. And you stick up for those that you care about. Look, we've been friends long before we got together, and even kissing you was a huge step for me, and I'm sorry if I didn't make my feelings more clear. So I guess the big question is, do you still want to be with me? Have I fucked things up because I don't want to lose you? I love you.
Next up, we have Ellen, who will be performing a monologue from her play called Home Pride, which is about disabled and queer people living through the pandemic. Ellen is a white feminine person with shoulder length ginger hair, and they are wearing a red and white pinstripe shirt, chipped red nail polish, and lots of silver rings.
But I couldn't see it. Or, I don't know, I didn't want to. Coming out made me realise that I've never known who I am. All this time, the world has been telling me that these huge parts of myself are wrong or unnatural. Strangers stop me in the street and ask if they can pray for me. Doctors have spent my whole life trying to heal me. And if there's something that needs fixing, there must be something broken, right? People told me who I was before I even had the words to tell them myself. And what I was, just about the worst thing a person could be. So I only had one option. I had to change. Obviously, it became pretty clear very quickly that one does not simply reverse a spinal injury, and my feelings for women weren't exactly going anywhere. So I did the next best thing. I hid from everyone. I forced myself to have crushes on boys, and I became the poster child for I'm not disabled, I am just differently abled. Turns out I hid it so well that I didn't recognize myself anymore. And everything became automatic. Now I'm shut inside and I don't have anyone to hide from. And there wasn't some big Oscar-worthy epiphany with dramatic orchestral music. It was a very quiet realization. That ritual of concealing myself every day is now redundant. And I have to look at myself for the first time in years. I am disabled, and that's not a bad word. I'm also gay, super gay. And you never know, one day I might be able to say both of those words louder than a whisper, but, you know, baby steps, right?
Thank you so much for sharing, Ellen. That was so captivating, and your writing is just so incredible. Next up, we have a video from Charlie.
Hi, I'm Charlie Davies, pronoun she, her. I would audio describe myself as a white woman with blue eyes and strawberry blonde curly hair, which has a fringe and is currently tied back in a ponytail. The monologue I'll be performing today is called the ADHD Tax. Bread. Where is my bread? Great. Burnt it. Sorry, you asked me what I would wish for. I would wish... I wish I wasn't gluten intolerant. I told you about that, right? Okay, maybe I didn't. Because it's not a choice I do have now. Do have now. I wish I didn't have to sacrifice having my first choice dish at the restaurant. Having more than one sandwich option on a meal deal, or just having to bring out a gluten-free loaf with me wherever I go, like a toy you have as a child when you want to squeeze whenever you get stressed. Except you cannot do that with a gluten-free loaf because it will just fall apart like that, the tiniest tug. You'd have to toast it before it could hold itself together. It might snap then, but it gives a sense of being a bit more with it than it did before. Oddly, the thing I've found most indigestible of all are the breadcrumbs. The bits that fall away from the slices of the loaf and the pack that you would call surplus, but for me are really amounting to tens of pennies each. And you have to savour every bit because £3.20 is expensive for bread. But you have to pay it because you don't have any other option. Genius. That's also the name of the bread brand. And you have to eat the tiny crumbs, even though they are too small to be chewed to give you nutrition, but never large enough to be the slice you can shove in your mouth in one go. You can't really complain, but still, if you move too quickly, crumble time. Maybe that's why there are barely any gluten-free options. It's because people know that gluten-free bread just doesn't work like other bread. It doesn't have that stretch, it's more push than pull. But every day is a game of push-pull if you have a gluten intolerance, and in this unamazing maze of confusion, I realised too far down the line that I've taken less for more from you for too many years. I will take my crumbs any day over the crumbs you choose to give me, covering a big fat ice cake behind you. I am not so much as offered butter with these crumbs as I am offered ifs and buts and maybes there will never be. One thing I can owe to a gluten-free diet is how it has delivered me from this brain fog and a big old belly and cramps and yearning from a friendship from you. waiting until burnout, toast point, to feel stable and strong again with you. But no more waiting. Well, the bread is already stale. Tomorrow I'll shop at a different store, where the seeded loaves are sold at a reduced price that is convenient for me. But it might take until tomorrow for that to happen, and even though I have to wait, I would rather wait. I am a crumb. And I don't care if your crust ever gave me curly hair. I don't care if you have a seeded brown bread and mine is white and bleached. I would rather wait. And in that time, I will not ask you if you ever did handpick your crumbs for me, or slice them, or if you wrap them up in paper or plastic packaging. Because it's okay. Not everyone remembers I'm gluten-free. But I know enough now that I deserve a nice cake that is iced and kind to me. Or should it have to be gluten-free to find? Or what would you substitute it with? With all of these questions, I'm in no position to wish.
Amazing. Can we just appreciate the talent in this room right now? Like, it's just so insane. Like, that performance from Charlie was just incredible. Next up, we have the wonderful Anya, and today she'll be performing 2 short poems called Is This Dopamine or Love? And The Origins of Color. She would audio describe herself as a light-skinned mixed person with curly brown hair and green eyes. They are wearing blue and yellow Lucy Yak dungarees with a green crochet top underneath.
Is this dopamine or love? I thought when I moved to the metropolis of London, away from the Devon Midlands, I would escape the seagulls. I heard them on the day we first met, but they weren't like the seagulls I knew. They were a hybrid between gull and pigeon. My 2 worlds collided, and they mocked me. Country girl, city girl, you cannot have one without the other. Country girl, city girl, stop pretending to be something you're not. Country girl, city girl, be careful. Is this dopamine or love? The question first formed on my lips during our first night at Regents, the day I came across the delicateness of your brain, where your thoughts reflected themselves in the tenderness of your touch. Your index finger ran slight circles round the knuckles of my hand. The silvers and blues of your rings came into contact with the pinks and golds of my own. I was ablaze every time you touched my skin. Was this dopamine or love? I remember as I walked to meet you at the bar, I think they were an omen. I heard them again for the outcome of our relationship, for all those tainted lullabies of our summer evenings. Your body was a symphony asking for sympathy. You had always strived to be overwhelmed and settle in chaos. I know you were scared to get close to me. You ran on dopamine and ran away from love. I could hear them tell me that from day one. You'd spent so long feeding off the scraps of past lovers that you didn't know how to accept it when it was standing right in front of you all along. But that night, by the fountain, all was quiet. We couldn't hear the cars racing past or the sound of sirens wailing. I watched chaos melt away from you into calm waters. I saw your truth bubbling on the surface. And I wish I could have said it out loud instead of biting my tongue. I wish I could have told you that, country girl, city girl, you meant so much more to me than just dopamine. The origins of colour. She remembers it all when nightfall fell for the first time around them. She softens at the thought of those hours deep in the dark, the hum of time in between the moment her lips met his. They reached for each other, bed sheets entangled around sweaty limbs and torn up slips. They reached for each other, ripping off years of guarded flesh and armor. They reached for each other, four hands encompassing two hearts. They reached for each other, witnessing themselves melt away and glow from blue to red to orange to gold. Together they reached. Hurry up, I think I'm dreaming. It was the first time orange burned that color. It only did that when she was with him. Otherwise, orange was a pale green or yellow at best. It's not enough. Nightfall calls, demanding more paint from them. It wanted so quickly for her to give herself over to its vermilion reds and Persian blues, not to learn the gift of discovering that there are other shades of blue that burn more vibrantly when they work in tandem with orange, not red. All gifts come with a sacrifice, and that sacrifice was you.
I know, that was just so beautiful. Like, you actually just inspire me to write like that, but I can never. That was so good. Up next, we have a wonderful video from Jasmine.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. I am a Chinese woman with black hair done up in a bun, and I am wearing a pink dress with roses on it. I'm sorry, it's not that I don't want to hang out with you, but I hate the sea. I mean, I like going to the beach like a normal person, but what I don't get is how obsessed people are with the sea. Like, I don't trust the sea. People have died in it. And you white people are the worst, like you legit swim in the fucker. You don't know what's in it. You don't know when you're gonna step on a jellyfish. You don't know when an extra powerful wave might come and drag you out and you might drown. I just value my life. And I was raised to have a healthy fear of nature. Look, the sea scares me. The sound of the sea, the waves lapping, it's supposed to be relaxing and calming and shit, but whenever I listen to it, I'm frightened. I'm frightened by how unchanging it is. Like, it gets louder and softer, but it goes on, and I am terrified by the eternity of it. How it reminds me that long after I'm dead, the sound will go on, and someone else will be in my place listening to it, and they'll probably love it. They will probably feel calmed by it. I remember when I was a child, my parents used to take us to the beach all the time. I hated those outings. I had to watch my brother and sister run and play, whereas I had to sit on one of those sandy, uncomfortably hot wooden benches because, you know, my parents couldn't trust me not to hurt myself. You can't let the blind child run around. What if she falls and breaks her foot or neck or both sets of ribs? Ooh. Often my parents would play ball games with my brother and sister, but I had to sit out of it all. Why? Because I couldn't see to chase and catch and throw the bloody ball, that's why. I couldn't sulk or look upset either, because then I was ruining our family day out. I had to sit there and choose between listening to them playing and having fun or the sea. I chose the sea. Why didn't they make sure their games included me? I don't think they thought of me at all.
Amazing. Like, I think that monologue was just so relatable. It was so good. Oh my god, I love Jasmine's writing. It's so good. Next up we have Hester, and Hester is a white woman with long brown hair tied up in a ponytail, wearing a grey top with gold necklaces, and her monologue is called Silence.
I was 19 when I first realised how loud silence is, how it's so full, so textured, It's like I can almost see it, and if I just reached out, then I could touch it, but I already know what it would feel like. If I could describe its colour, I would say it's sort of a purpley grey, but it's not just one colour, it's sort of grainy, like millions of coloured grains of sand all mixing together into one big kaleidoscope. You probably have no idea what I mean, and that's fine. Most people don't, because to most people, silence is very different. It's empty, nothingness. I wish I could experience that type of silence, to be at peace, alone. I'm never alone. My silence follows me like a cloud over my head, whispering in my ear. It backs away when I'm busy or surrounded by people, so I feel most at peace in a bustling crowd, like standing in the middle of a stream as it parts around you. Okay, the best way I can describe it is like breathing. You're always breathing, and you're not usually aware of it. But the moment you think about it, about your breath and your lungs, then you can't stop thinking about it. You then have to make yourself breathe. That is what my silence does. It invades my consciousness. I'll get home from a long day, shut the door, kick off my shoes, jump on the sofa, finally able to relax, and then bam, there it is screaming at me. I want to scream back, to push it away, just cover my ears, anything to keep it out for just a second of peace. But there's nothing there. Nothing to actually fight. It's just the silence. Sorry, what was that? Oh, yeah, I'll just get a cappuccino, thanks.
Amazing. Thank you, Hester, for sharing. That was so good. Like, honestly, so good. Thank you so much. Next up, we have a video from the amazing Beth.
Hi, I'm Beth Samuels. I'm a wheelchair user. I have long, thick, blonde, curly hair and a black top, and I'm going to be performing a monologue that I wrote myself called Take Back Time. Do you know, sometimes I just think how it would be if we could take back time to go and relive everything again, but making sure to appreciate every second. All our childhood memories, just doing them one more time. You see sad stories all the time. Things happen and you never think it'll happen to you till it really does. And then you realise how things can change in an instant. We don't know our inner strength, that's our only option. And you may think, what is it? Strength, it's what's defined as within. Things may change in our lives, but we're lucky. We have an overwhelming desire to succeed. Times change. We change. I don't walk now, but I certainly try and make a good job of rolling. Like you, me, everyone, we are united all the same. Nobody should be defined by their disability. It's all about ability.
That last line was so like that's literally what I'm like speechless. That's like, no one should be defined by what was it, disability. That was so good. That was like, yeah. And next up we have Ash, and he'll be performing a monologue called Call Me a Twat, about the intersections of being queer and disabled. He is a white masculine person with brown curly hair and brown eyes. He's wearing a t-shirt that says trans bodies are beautiful and sacred, and several silver rings and piercings.
You know, I was invited to this like kink club night a few months ago. Obviously, I jumped at it because I hadn't been out in like months and the drinks were 2 for 1 after 1 a.m. And then I thought about it for fucking ages, about getting around a dark and sweaty warehouse space, about those fucking grim gym mats they put in the playrooms and how embarrassing it would be to get my chair caught on one and drag it around the room in some horrible donut and have to interrupt everyone's good time so they can help me get unstuck. And then I thought about how unsexy the noise of my chair turning on is. Beep, beep. No. Beep, beep. Like that. And everyone would fuss and say, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it, babe. See, don't look at me like that because, yeah, I know it sounds nice, but I don't want to be fine or tolerated. Queer spaces are mine. They're mine as much as they are anyone else's. But they feel so fucking alien to me. Like, I've got a passport for a country I never visit. Calling myself a queer man is like ABBA saying they're on tour, when really it's the idea of them that's on tour, you know? And that's why you're here. I ran your toes over the first time we met, and you didn't say it was fine. You called me a twat and said I owed you a drink, and I just stared at you because no one had ever spoken to me like that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's like an accessible Wetherspoons around the corner, and if you wanted that drink, that would be fine.
Thank you so much, Ash. That was incredible. I can't believe like the talent right now. Like it just keeps getting better and better. Next up, we have a video from Jenny.
Hello, I'm Jenny. To audio describe myself, I'm a white woman with medium to long brown hair. I'm wearing eyeshadow and eyeliner today and a white top. And I will be reading my monologue, Jesus' Dog. Sex is fun, isn't it? You're spending quality time with someone. Soft kisses, soft touches, a moment of passion and love rolling into one another for however long or short. Sex is great. You get into funny positions. You sweat and pant, and you grab and you grip, and you pull your sheets closer and closer and closer and closer, and suddenly you imagine your whole family burning in a house fire. Sorry. That wasn't right. You're closing your eyes, your toes curling, and you're reaching for the sky, your body tense and ready to explode in a moment of ecstasy. And suddenly your granddad flashes before your eyes. Does your granddad know you're having sex? Stop! Sorry. Okay. We're teasing and panting, loving and caressing, soft kisses, soft touches. And if Jesus had a dog, what would it be called? Did Jesus ever have sex? Stop! It's not working, is it? Bloody typical. One of the most relaxing things you can do, and I can't relax. I should probably stop. Or I could just let him keep pounding until it's over. Like an excitable dog with a leg to hump. Done. It's not his fault. It's my brain. Maybe one day I'll be normal and have normal sex. Maybe one day my brain won't flash these thoughts into my head. Maybe one day I'll relax. And maybe one day I won't be doomed to forever think about Jesus' dog. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jenny, for sharing that. Finally, last but certainly not least, we have the fabulous Emily Bold. This is amazing. Oh my god. Okay, so Emily's piece is called STEM Dance, and Emily is a white woman in her early 20s wearing a red blazer, and in the piece she is dancing in her bedroom wearing sunglasses and is playing a blue electric guitar. Take it away.
We're back up and work at the end of the day. We're all tensed up, you need to find a way to release some stress and get back to your senses. To center yourself, let down your defenses. Drop your back down and run up to your room, and you put your headphones on, play your favorite tune. Close the door, put your cool lights on, you look in the mirror, and what you gonna do? You do the spin dance. 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 Spin dance fulfills your sense of real desire to self-regulate and can even inspire you to feel happy and creativity. Spin dancing is an act of neuropositivity, yeah. So you've never spin danced before, well you better get some space on your bedroom floor. Close your eyes, vibe with the sound, let it guide you through as we break it down now. Move your body side to side. Feel the rhythm of the music from inside. Stim, do whatever feels right. And put it all together and we'll dance all night. Yeah. Stim dance. Ooh, we'll do the stim dance. 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 We'll do the stim dance.
That was such a vibe. And if you weren't dancing to that, I don't know what you were doing. Anyway, I would like to invite everyone back on. Everyone put their cameras on. Because that's all we have. And like, I know we want more, but there will be more. Hopefully. In September, we will be doing in-person performance where we will be showcasing more disabled talent. And everyone on here can say what? Can I don't know, come on and say hi and bye or whatever. Yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed, and this has been Access Acquired.